Okay, now here we are again, October live stream 2024 special edition. This is the culmination of our Riley Children's Hospital charity drive once again. Frank, and once again, year after year, I am truly blown away. I've went through that roller coaster of emotions all week. I mean, I'm emotional, I'm thrilled, I'm happy, I'm pumped, I got tears in my eyes. I've been through it all week long. A lot of you
will do that tonight too.
Probably tonight too. It's going to happen. Hey, one thing I can tell you for sure: the older you get, a little more emotional that you get, right, Bushy? Right. That's the truth. I know. Trust me, I'm there. I've gotten really good at blowing snot bubbles now. I'm really good about that. So you get a little bit more emotional, you get some tears going. It just is what it is.
Hey, Kurt.
It's all for a good side.
You might need to move that mic just directly in front of you.
Do that.
Can you?
We do have microphones.
Knocking all the bottles down.
Yeah, right?
Almost need to come. Okay, close. It's all good. We can do that.
Is that better, everybody? Hopefully,
We're just gonna have to make do with it.
You good, buddy? Yeah, we're not at home. We're not in the SLB basement bourbon bar. We have had the unbelievable opportunity to take this on the road and come over here to Westward Whiskey.
I see what happened. I'm using the wrong mic. Okay, wait. Okay, we
Line up
have.
on yours and
Yeah.
Do you need
Something's
it
happening.
over there?
Yeah.
just a couple technical difficulties.
Hold on, we'll figure it out.
Colin, you got this.
take on
This is all hooked up, just take it
No,
over.
not this one. It's that one over there.
Which one?
The one that Kurt's got.
make sure that. No, I think he plugged it in the wrong way. I think you leave that here.
Okay.
But follow the cord and make sure he has that plugged in right. That's the big thing.
Is that better?
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing.
Can you like tap on the front? Okay, I think that's the right mic. Is that the right mic?
Hello.
People with headphones are probably like, quit tapping that
There we
mic.
go.
Probably, right? Wouldn't doubt it. You want me to start over, Trenton?
Yep.
Thanks, man. I don't even remember what I said 2 seconds ago, let alone 10 minutes ago.
We're at where we're at right now. So
Yeah, I know. Let me just start over, Ken. I'm just going to start from scratch. October. October is always a special month for all of us here at the SLB family for charity drive for Riley's Children's Hospital. I'm just always amazed. I'm overjoyed. I'm emotional at times, just with the support that we're able to get with the SLB community. I'm lost for words,
That's
even
insane.
how to thank you for all of this. And then while we're talking about this for 2 seconds, if you can, please, I know a lot of you folks help us out and you donate in the chat during our live streams. Please don't do that this evening. We want all proceeds of what we're doing tonight to go to Riley's Children's Hospital as well. So if you want to buy a few more raffle tickets, that's fine. If you want to maybe put a bid on an auction item, that would be great. But for tonight, let's just stay away from the chat donations. YouTube takes a part of that, a little tiny part of that as well. We just want everything to go to Riley's. That's what we want to do
what we
tonight.
got 10, 12 minutes, something like that, 11 minutes
Yeah.
left on the raffle. Is that what's situation is, Trent?
It's at 8:20 since we got a little bit.
So till 8:20 Central, so you got a little bit of extra time if
Yeah.
you'd like to get
Yeah, a little bit of extra
some
time.
more tickets.
We are going to be raffling off tonight. What is that? Trying to, what's the up 170?
174, I think you said, or something like that.
74.
174 bottles of
And man, is there some good ones in there.
fantastic whiskey. We run the gamut, all types of whiskeys and bourbons, rye whiskeys, single malt whiskeys. Fantastic grouping. All that's going to be raffled off tonight. Trent, do you want to mention how that's going to happen so that everybody knows and everybody's paying attention? Tonight, it won't be like last year. I won't be reading out the winners. Everything's going to be going up on the screen. About every, Trent, every 10 minutes? Something like that?
No, and I don't believe we draw every 25 seconds.
to get through
Are
it all.
you kidding me?
No, we have to do that to hit the window. My mic is broken also, so I have to yell.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Trent tells me every 25 seconds, so 2 every minute, roughly, every 2 every minute, you'll see it on the screen, correct? So you will see the whiskey that's up for raffle, and you'll be able to see who is the winner of that particular bottle. So pay attention. That's how you're going to know if you're going to win or who is going to win each and individual bottle of whiskey. I'm sure you have it lined up in some form of progression, Trent, and if I know you have a plan, right?
It just really goes in alphabetical order, but I didn't have a chance to really test the system that I did.
Yeah.
So like last year it might crack.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out though.
that's all right. We'll figure it out.
Also, the link to buy raffle tickets is pinned in the chat. So if you
All right.
do that, you can go there. There's 14 minutes left to do that.
Okay.
We're also right next to some.
Yeah. If you haven't noticed, we're kind of right next to some train tracks here. That's Amtrak going past us, so it won't take long.
They wanted to stop by the live
Yeah, they're waving even. Hey, it's SLB. Hey.
Is that Trenton?
Was that Trenton? Wait, what? Anyways, before I move forward, guys, we got to keep kind of moving, keep things going here tonight. But once again, thank you all so very, very much for all your support. I don't know, the last I looked, $300 and some thousand.
336, 195.
336, 195 is the running count right now. Trenton set up a goal for us in the 270s range somewhere, 278, wasn't it, Trenton? Something like that.
278 something.
Yeah. By far smashed that.
Which would
Smashed
hit, he made that number because it would hit $500,000 in 3 years.
Yeah.
Donated through SLB community.
Yeah.
And as usual as last year, flying right past it.
Just amazing. I mean, just amazing, guys. And what touches me more than anything else is that all of this isn't because of me. It's not because of Kent, not because of Trenton. It's because of you all, truly. The love that's shown towards this channel and for this channel is sometimes overwhelming, and I appreciate it so much. All donations that were received are going to be given over to Riley's Children's Hospital in memory of our dear grandson and son, Michael, who passed on. And that can't be more thrilling either. I'm sure, I'm positive I'm going to lose it when we go to Riley's, because they're supposed to have a little wagon that's going to be commissioned with Michael's name on it. I'll be lucky to get through that. I'm having a hard time at the moment, but I'll be lucky to get through that check ceremony. So thank you, everybody, so much. We love you, and we appreciate you from the bottom of our hearts. We do.
It's a lot more than tasting whiskey with this.
Oh, it's a whole lot more. It's a whole lot more than tasting whiskey. Super quick. We have a lot of folks here with us this evening. There's some people that took the trip with us here to share in this moment. Of course, Rebecca is here, Trenton and Michelle, Kent. Kent's got his son Caleb here with us as well. Bushi and Grandpa Paul, they made the trip with us. Trenton actually put them up in first class, and they enjoyed that tremendously. Trenton's a pretty good dude.
She took advantage of the wine up there.
Yes, she did. She did a healthy sampling of wine on the trip, right? Yeah, that's her style of tasting. So anyways, we got our good friends Chris and Trey. I know you have 3 words you want to say about Chris. I'll stay out of that because I might say bad things, but Kent's got some good things to say about Chris.
No, I just, I've known Chris for 25, 30 years. Played softball together. He worked with a great friend of mine. Known each other a long time, and then he got involved with the channel not realizing it was my family, and that was kind of a funny story. And his dad lives right down the street from you.
Right, like 4 houses down or something. It's crazy.
But really, I don't know, Miles, if I told Jonathan, I don't know if you know, but Chris is the one that introduced us to Westward. Bought a bottle back when he was visiting for the holidays, and that kind of started
exactly
something else.
Exactly how it went.
We're like, man, that's really good.
Yeah. Like, what the heck is that?
So appreciate it, Chris. That's why we got to the point where we're standing here, hanging out here today.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
last but not least, we also have our great friends, Colin and Rachel. Thank you so much for joining us on this. So that's who we have here, other than the wonderful folks here at Westward Whiskey, which I do want to talk about just for a few minutes. What a relationship that we have with them. Extremely cordial. They've been an enormous blessing to the channel. Not only do they make incredible whiskey here, but they're incredible people. And for me, Kent, honestly, that's what I admire most, is the folks, the good people. And I can't say more about everybody here at Westward Whiskey and how much we've helped the channel, and not only just our channel, but the whiskey community at large, and everything that you do. We thank you. We thank you for having us here, and we are just blessed, is the best I can say, to have you in our corner and have us here doing this. It couldn't be any better. With that being said, I want Jonathan to come back up here if he can. Jonathan, last time we visited here, my eyes were peeled on everything that he did. Come on in, brother. This is Jonathan, a member of Westward Whiskey. I am not a cocktail aficionado. We talked about this last time. I'm not. I love it. I love the craft. I love learning. I love to do it at home. I love to try to create things. I love to watch people on YouTube that really know what they're doing it. So the last time I was here, and I still have it on my phone, the recipe for the Hunter cocktail with a spin, Jonathan Stein, I loved it.
I had heard that the Hunter cocktail was your favorite, so I wanted to do my own.
It was wonderful, dude, honestly. So what do you have for us tonight?
Tonight I want to do something a little more simple so that people can replicate it at home if they would like.
Sure.
So I wanted to make a couple of old fashions for you guys.
Love it.
So I'm going to be making what we call our true northwest here at our tasting rooms. It's something we sell all the time, which is essentially a wildflower honey that we use with a local purveyor, as well as bitters that were made for us, which is a hazelnut bitters, which you can't really get more Oregon than hazelnuts.
No,
I
didn't even know you had. I didn't even know you had that handmade for you. Now, after the show, dude, I'm checking this stuff out after the show.
And so I want to do a little cocktail run through with everyone, and I'll batch two at the same time. So I'm going to be using our mixing glass, all copper, because what's cocktails if not being a little overly bougie with it?
Why not? They call me Mr. Bougie.
I'm going to grab us some whiskey. Today I'm going to be using our Pinot.
Oh.
Yes, which I know you're a particular fan of.
I love that. Yeah, I absolutely love the Pinot Noir finish.
And so we're going to do 1.5 ounces for each of our cocktails. You can also boost. So old fashions, of course, go way back and are probably the most flexible format of whiskey. So you can also boost your alcohol content up to 2 ounces. And that's also same for your bitters, where you can do, 2 bitters, 4 bitters. It's like salt. You can always put more in. You can always take more out.
Yeah.
Which will take me to our syrup. This is a rich syrup. Do you know what that means?
I do.
So this is a 2-to-1. Probably the most common mistake I see in people doing syrups is we want to make sure this is all done by weight. The easiest way to get an accurate sugar count is by weighing everything out, because all sugars come in different sizes.
Well, that's a good point, because it's not 2 cups to 1 cup. That's not what you do. You do by weight.
Yeah, just like a baker.
Good to know. I didn't do that. I'll be checking that out now.
I was actually telling Trenton, I was like holding my tongue last time you guys visited, because I was like, it's my one little qualm.
Well, now I know. If you don't know, you don't know. I'm glad you told me.
No,
glad you
cocktails is what led me to whiskey a long time ago.
Sure.
So it's my particular corner of nerd.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
So we're going to use some 0.25 of rich wildflower honey.
Okay. So I'm very curious at the fact that you poured 1.5 ounces instead of. I seem to see the 2 ounces being relatively the norm. Am I incorrect about that? In an old fashioned, with a 1/4 ounce?
It tends to be about a split.
All right.
I know 1.5 ounces tends to be a little closer to what would be claimed to be as like the ratio of what you'll be using per drink
Nice.
in almost all cocktails. So one thing that is fascinating is,
That is true.
nearly all cocktails are based on a format that you can adjust as long as you understand alcohol, sweet, sour,
Yeah.
and aromatic.
Right.
Once you know those and you know a couple of formats, you can make pretty much every historical cocktail that exists.
Very nice. All right.
And now we're gonna do our bitters. So this is made from a local place called Bitter Housewife, who made a hazelnut bitters for us.
Out of here. That's amazing.
And so
I love that.
per cocktail, we're gonna do 2 to 4 dashes each.
All right.
Are you guys bitters people or are
Sure,
you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. Between Kent and Trenton, I don't know who orders more old fashions when we go out. I'm not sure.
Probably be me.
Probably you, because Trenton kind of a Negroni guy too.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that is what I've been hearing the past few days.
yeah, he can slay a few Negronis, that's for sure.
I always think that's kind of a starting point of figuring out, okay, does this bar have a good cocktail or not?
Well, Negronis is a perfect one
Well-
because it is hard to have a bad one if you are following any amount of recipe.
Yeah.
Which is it's very possible to have a old fashioned.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Well,
you
that's
know what a
what-
Wisconsin
And I
old
know that's
fashioned.
what he was speaking towards
That's where
too.
the test
Jonathan.
is,
Yeah,
okay?
Yep.
You know, new
Yours
place, I'm gonna order old fashioned. Do I further go down the list of a cocktail here or not?
Yep.
You know?
Is there a particular soda that's in my old fashioned?
right.
I don't think I'll be around for more.
No, that's a big no, thank you.
I am going to do old style methods for our ice. So I have clear ice with us today, and then I'm going to hand smash.
And you are bougie.
I know.
I see you have it, have your logo on that ice as well.
Listen, I said bougie.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
And then we are going to stir. And when you stir a cocktail, you want to make sure it is the quietest possible. This is kind of
Try to work on that.
yes. It is it's a tough skill.
It's not easy
because
to
you
do. Not
hug
easy to do.
yeah, you hug the
Yeah.
mixing glass. I know I'm a little bit hidden there. So essentially if you hug the outside and move around, the quieter the better, because when you're mixing a cocktail, you want to make sure it's kind of silky smooth in its dilution. Any amount of sound you're hearing from that mixing ice is gonna aerate, and aeration. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
Now,
that's
now you put a scientific swing to the whole thing. I'm just doing it to be quiet so it's nicer for people.
yeah, so it's not loud for everyone. Yes, truth be told, there are 2 methods of making cocktails, really.
Yeah.
You can build in, which you do for grogs, but when it comes to methods for mixing, it's either shaken or stirred.
Yeah.
Anything that's shaken needs aeration and emulsification
Yes.
versus stirred. You're usually just using a little bit of sugar or a lot of bit of alcohol. So,
Beautiful.
all right.
Trenton, how many revolutions does it take for an old fashioned? You remember that show a long time ago?
83.
Now, how many does it take for a highball?
Oh, no. What do you got, Trenton? I don't have an answer for that one. He's got me on that
Let's
one.
see if anyone in the chat can
I
actually.
actually
come up
had
with that
my
one.
first highball on our last trip here when you took us out afterwards, and you about fell off the chair when I said I've never had a whiskey highball.
I do.
Yeah.
It is because, especially if I'm drinking a lot of whiskey throughout the day, I want to make sure that I am having something that is both refreshing and still reflects the alcohol that's in it. So a well-made highball goes a long ways, especially for making it in a very traditional
Hey,
Japanese way.
well, you helped me through my first experience of a highball.
That honestly, that's as much honor as I need to take away from it.
Well, this looks awesome, man. I'm excited that you used the Pinot. I'm just thinking in my head, I've been following you on this one. I love the fact of the honey.
Oh,
How that might,
Play around with those
that,
areas.
with that Pinot and all that stuff going on, and then the hazelnut. Get out of town, man. Get out of town.
All right.
Oh, now this is a question I got for you real quick.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
What do you got?
When it comes to garnish, this is just a personal taste, and I want somebody who's a true cocktail professional to answer it for me. I personally do not enjoy, I can appreciate the beautiful aspect of a massive garnish of some sort.
Right.
Or so, but it gets in my way. I like a minimalist approach to a garnish. I don't know what you feel about that.
there's something I go by, which is that there's no wrong way to enjoy something. There can be a right way to appreciate something.
Okay.
And that's something I talk about a lot with whiskey, where it's like, there's a story I remember someone picking up a whole case of Westward,
Right.
and I was like, that's awesome. And they came back the next month, was buying another case of Westward. I was like, this is great. If you don't mind me asking, what are you using this for? And he goes, you wouldn't believe how good of a Mountain Dew whiskey this makes. And I shuddered first.
I understand.
And then I took a second.
Yeah.
It's very important to know yourself in the thing that you enjoy. And here at Westward, we always talk about like quality of ingredients that you're making on the front end. So like our fermentation,
Yes.
which I believe you talked about, like
Yeah.
we take our time, we're using quality ingredients.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
I do believe him that it's probably the best Mountain Dew whiskey that he's ever had in
And you
his
know what?
life.
Everybody's got their thing. I've said it since the conception of the channel. Drink what you like the way you like it.
Yes.
We have one of our dear followers that I know pretty well. I message once in a while. His name is Jason. And it's either in honor of, and I apologize, Jason, it's in honor of his father or grandfather. I believe his grandfather. Trenton says yes. Okay, grandfather. Every new bottle of whiskey that he has, he pops it, he pours a little bit with some cola, Coke, isn't it, Trenton? Pepsi. I knew it was something. But that's his very first pours with Pepsi, and that's a way for him to remember his grandfather, the moments they shared with whiskey.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about more than anything else.
100%.
Yeah.
It's about the people, it's
Yeah.
about the memories you share.
Yeah.
I beat you to it, Kurt.
Did you?
Cheers.
Yeah,
guys.
I couldn't wait. It's pretty amazing. I gotta say, pretty amazing. The hazelnut is what's getting me.
Yeah.
That's awesome in there.
Well,
Get out of town, man. Thank you, buddy.
I appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah.
Appreciate everyone at home donating tonight.
Yeah.
And
Very much so.
it's a pleasure.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
I'll let you
it. Yeah, you're good.
clear out the way.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you for sharing your time with us, Jonathan. Thanks so much.
We have 8 minutes till the thing's closed.
Okay?
8 minutes.
Currently at 341,260.
And that's just hard to believe, Trenton. 341, man, wow. Just blown away, guys. I'm just blown away. I don't know if Kyle's in the chat. I don't know if you're watching, Kyle, if you can chime in. If he does, babe, if you could say something about it. Kyle's my oldest son. It was Michael is his son who passed. So Kyle, if you're in the chat, yeah, I gotta gather myself for a second.
Yeah.
That's tough. Man, what a wonderful. I see what I'm telling you though, Kim. I watch Jonathan when he's up here because it's like, here you go, bud.
Thank you.
Yep. I like to learn about that kind of stuff. All right, moving forward real quickly, we're going to get to the blind here. And in doing so, I want to introduce you to somebody who is one of the best when it comes to what he does. He's the head distiller here at Westward Whiskey. His name is Miles. Come on up, Miles. He's going to talk
step
a little
to the
bit
side
about.
and enjoy my
Yep.
cocktail.
Yeah, please do.
Man, I should have requested one.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate everything,
Absolutely.
man. I appreciate
of
everything.
course. Happy to be here.
Miles helped us, along with Jonathan as well, helped us through our barrel tasting last time that we were here.
Back in June.
Yeah, back in June, and treated us, I mean, like kings and queens, obviously. So we thank you for that. But I wanted to ask you if you could take just a few minutes, just share your thoughts, just a few minutes about Westward Whiskey, where you are right now, where you might be going, and also a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
Or anything else you'd like to share. And also, in the process of this, he's going to let you know what we're going to be tasting in our blind tonight.
Well, hints. not too much info, right?
No, just types of whiskeys that he's already told me once and I've already kind of forgotten. So
Perfect.
It's just a lot going on with that.
That's
It's gonna
what
be-
we like.
It's going to
Oh,
be
Jonathan's
wonderful.
waiting in the wings. He's got it ready.
Oh my
Perfect.
God. It's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, the honor is ours, really, truly. Thank you for thinking of us, especially for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are at the distillery. I'm not sure if y'all can see through the window.
Yeah,
Our
yeah.
massive pot stills back there.
Yep.
But yeah, Westward, we're single malt makers up here in the Pacific Northwest. That's what we like to do. That's what we make. We have a rich brewing heritage here in the Northwest as well. So myself, most of the distillers, our founder, we all come from beer. This is also where most of the high quality barley is grown in the country. So we like to think Westward just naturally has a sense of place and kind of tell you where it's from, right?
Beautiful.
Has origins in the whiskey itself. So that's what we do. I mean, in August we turned 20.
Is that right?
Yeah, we had our 20th anniversary.
That is
Yes,
beautiful. That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, we got started in
Congratulations.
2004. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
When we applied
great.
for our distilling license, there was less than 40 distilleries in the entire country.
Making single malt whiskey.
Anything.
Wow.
That's every single distillery. Yeah.
Wow.
There's over 2,300 now. So
Wow.
it's been a wild 20 years.
I was not aware of that stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big growth for sure.
No doubt.
So yeah, I mean, it's it's a milestone for us. We're really happy
Absolutely
about that.
is. Now, you were
Really
here
cool
then
thing.
as well? Or no?
I wasn't here at the beginning.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Let's see. I've been with Westward almost 12 years.
Okay, because I
Yeah.
knew it'd been a little while.
It has been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I guess in the grand scheme of things, whiskey time, not that long, still getting started.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, I imagine.
But yeah, we're just so happy for y'all to be here.
Thank you.
I don't know if it's been mentioned yet, but, we do have a club. The Westward brand has our own club. And for any club sign up that happens tonight, we're going to donate $50 for each sign up.
Wow.
To the club tonight.
That's incredible. Thank
Yeah.
you, Miles. Yeah.
It's really-
Yeah,
it's
tell
our
them a little
honor.
bit about the club, a few seconds here, and what that's all about.
Sure,
Because I know,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're in the club.
Oh, you gotta be. Yeah,
Gotta be.
no doubt about it.
Yeah. 13 things this month.
There you go. Well, now we got to talk.
That's a good start.
Now we got to talk about why we're in the club.
No kidding.
Trent's ordering
Yeah, well,
15
look,
things.
so, part of what we do here, and it is mostly single malt, right, is just kind of experiment with all the different elements of whiskey. For us, whiskey is basically 5 things, right? It's grain, it's water, yeast, oak, and time. And time is maturation, right? Like,
Yep.
the amount of time in barrel, your climate, what you're doing with your whiskey while it's in the barrel.
Sure.
And so we'll experiment with each of those elements separately and just kind of come up with different expressions. For a while there, we just sold them through the tasting room. And they got so popular that we started the club. And then that club became, I think, just Oregon only. And then that grew to now we're all throughout the U.S.
Beautiful.
We're everywhere.
That's awesome.
And yeah, and it's great. So yeah, 4 times a year, once a quarter, we'll release one of these expressions that you really can only find through the club on westwardwhiskey.com. It's free to join. Shipping's free. Just pay for the bottles when you get them. And so, yeah, it's a pretty exciting thing, to just see what we're up to see what we're doing, kind of tinkering in the barrel
Absolutely
house
is,
back
yeah.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the club. But speaking of different elements of whiskey,
Here we go. I know.
this is the challenge we have for you
Come on,
guys
John,
tonight.
You're good.
So we've got a few different samples here for you to try. 6 actually. Oh, is this the cheat sheet? All right. Okay, perfect. So what we've got here,
Oh, Lord.
so there's 3 sets of 2 samples, right? So 2 and 2 and 2. And they each have different sort of experimentation with the different elements that I've talked about, for
Yeah.
Westward or for whiskey
Yeah.
in general.
Right.
So one set has potentially a different mash bill. One set, maybe a different cask finish type, right? We're talking about wood there. And the other is a fermentation experiment. So each of these sets, there's a pair for each of those. And, have fun with it, right?
Yeah, and I know. We'll be watching him. He's going to be laughing, carrying on. He's going to give me that. Yeah, I know. I don't know what's coming.
This may be a little more difficult than our typical.
Yeah, I think so. We got some skilled people handling our blind this evening.
No doubt.
That's for sure. It'll be fun though, because I'm sure it's all great stuff, Miles.
Yeah, and these are actually all past club releases that we
Yeah.
picked out, kind of dug through the library to see what we had
Very cool.
around. And, came up with the idea of just, different elements of the whiskey.
That's awesome. Thank you again, Miles.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate you,
it's
buddy.
an honor.
Honestly.
Truly. Yeah.
Thank you for helping us not only with this particular live stream tonight, but more importantly for the charity that we've done here for the kids, for sick kids at Riley's. So we
Yeah.
appreciate you, man.
It's our honor. Really.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Best of luck.
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna need it.
Get on in
We're
there.
gonna need as much as we can get.
Oh boy.
Trevor, are you part of this at all?
No,
No. That's shocking.
I know.
So we have 6, Jonathan, we have 6 samples, right? 6 different whiskeys per se. 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure. Let me move some stuff around, Ken, so I can get organized.
All right.
You got anything else for us?
Don't forget what he just said, though. That's pretty cool. $50 donated tonight if you sign up for the Westward Club. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's generous. Very much so. All All right, Trent, you got anything else, buddy? At this point in time, everything going okay on your end?
Yes, if my mic didn't work, I'm gonna count and steal yours so I can talk real quick. Okay. So I just closed. I don't know how good this mic is. I'm just talking right into it, and I apologize if it's making people's ears bleed. But I am closing the bidding for the raffle tickets right now. You will see on the screen here in a couple seconds. It's going to look a little bit different. Oh, the auction also closed. Whoops. I'll see if I can redo that. Raffle tickets are closed. You do not, if you can't stay for the whole thing, that is okay. You will get an email, I think 2 emails with like the bottle that you won and everything. It'll also be on screen here. I'm gonna see, where's the overlay? There we go. Okay. There's the overlay. I have to set up the raffle and everything, but we're currently at 343, 338. In terms of monies, which is wild. So here in the next couple minutes, I have to run a couple scripts on my end, and then you'll see all the bottles, and it should just automatically start. Again, I didn't test it. So
Started yet?
no, we just closed the ticket. So I bumped it down to every 20 seconds. That should get us through all 164 lots. 2 of the first lots have 5 bottles each.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll see. I hope this goes well.
Well, we all know. We all pretty much know. Thank you, Collins. Yeah, I knew we'd need you tonight, brother. I knew it.
Why do you dress so nice?
Yeah. Why do you always make
Wanted
it
to look good when you came up here and moved that mic.
Why you gotta make us look so bad, Kyle? Why you gotta do that, man? We all know that Trenton is somewhat of a genius when it comes to computers things. So I'm sure it's gonna be fantastic with 0 glitches. I'm sure of that. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys, man. This is like my routine.
He's got to roll.
I got to roll that glass, baby. I got to do it. That's probably not very professional, but it's what I do.
Well, I don't know if you've heard about his nose issues, but
Oh, Lord, Kit. Don't start that. Rebecca's going to have a heart attack. Miles probably does need to hear it. Yeah. Miles, I don't mind sharing. Because it's really not about me, it's about education for everybody. They've all heard the story, and I'm sure they're rolling off their chair at the moment because they know Rebecca doesn't want to hear it again. But when I was younger, I did have sinus surgery. I had a bunch of stuff done and got roto-rooted. So aromas are a little bit of it's my weaker component of whiskey tasting, to be honest with you. So I do the best I can. Sometimes I rely on Trenton in our videos, and sometimes that's a mistake. Because if it's a little weaker for me, that I really can't pick up on it too well, then I have to hear about moss on a tree and PVC pipe and things like that.
I went through the nose.
Did you?
I just left them off as I went through, but
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Perfect. All right.
It's working so far.
It's working? I'm kind of dragging
Kind of.
just a little bit here, bud, just to make sure you're going to be okay. Oh, by the way, very important, I've got a very important topic to talk to y'all about eventually here when I feel the time is right. So don't drop out, if we happen to get to the point to where the raffle's over with or whatever, don't leave. I got a topic I need to discuss with you, and it's very important, so I'd love to get your opinions and your thoughts on a few things, if I can. So, Kent, what was your thoughts on the nose on this one?
I'm excited to start the tasting process. That's
Yeah.
There's some good smelling stuff up there.
Now,
There's some drastic differences too. Whether I could pick out what the differences are exactly, but we'll see.
But you're finding some big differences.
Oh yeah.
I can't really get it off at number 1. It's just so good. It's reminiscent to me a little bit, guys, of the cask strength, on the nose, a little bit for me, and aromas. But I do know, and I think you've seen me say it on videos, you guys are masters of malt here. In your malting process, whatever you do, I'm not the guy to discuss it or tell you how it's done, but whatever you guys do in your process of malting and all that stuff, you it's just an amazing thing what you guys do with grain.
Got some good stuff there.
Wow.
Yeah, right? I was waiting to see what you were going to say. But,
Wow. It's not reminiscent on the palate
no.
to the cast strength, but
I see what you meant off the nose, but man,
proof's a little bit lower on this one, which I thoroughly enjoy. I've talked to you folks many times about that. You know, I'm all up for cast strength and those kind of things too, but I absolutely love a full flavored whiskey that's around that 90 proof range.
do you guys have a wheelhouse that you like as far as proof goes?
Like a range?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we don't usually go below 90 proof.
Yeah.
That's where we like Westford. That's where most of our core range is at.
I love that. Yeah.
But, our cash strength's 125.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all blended to be, approachable and balanced, so.
Yeah,
You got a
no
pretty
kidding.
good range, but generally, yeah, we try to stay above 90.
Yeah. I noticed that your milestone release this year was a little bit proofier than last year's.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm just guessing it is because that's where it tasted the best.
You hit the nail on the head. Yeah. No, yeah, each
I know. You told me that last year. I told the folks out there.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about last year's, honestly. Because I think it was 86, is that right? Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
86 proof, full flavor, rich. And we personally asked you, Miles, why did you keep this as 86 proof? And you specifically said, because that's where it tasted the best. Good enough for me. Good answer for me. This one's a little bit higher. I don't remember this year's. Where did that land on the proof?
97.
97. I was going to say 98,
Yeah.
97.
That's, like I said, each edition could, next year could be 97 also, if that's where it drinks best. If not, it'll change.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I love that. I absolutely love it.
That was a good start. I know that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. There's a lot going on. There's just.
That's the one thing I do like about being able to do the live shows, because it's usually a lineup of really good stuff out front. So I'm glad I got invited to do them.
That's good. Yeah, that's why Ken always has his right hand raised when it comes to live streams. If he's in town, he'll be here. Right? Get free whiskey. Trent, you want to taste any of these, bud?
I'm debugging an issue right now.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Breaking the internet right now.
Yeah.
I don't know, buddy.
That one's very creamy. So I just went right into it. I should.
You should.
Very creamy.
Sure, why don't you
Very
should?
creamy.
I love the honey note that's coming out of the aromas on this one, fellas.
Are you on two?
Too. Beautiful. Really, really
Are you
nice
gonna
stuff.
pull a Trent and go? That's what he usually does on blinds. I'm like, man,
He tries to mess with us intentionally.
And I I also roll in the Glen Canyon.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even it. I don't have a. It's not a something that I feel is wrong if you do it a different way. A lot of people, they jostle the whiskey, they twirl it, they swirl it, whatever. Doesn't bother me. Whatever you do, you do. Maybe it's just the old man in me because I just roll it. I love the aromas on this one are spectacular, Colin. Literally.
mouthfeel on two is fantastic too. Very, very creamy. Very creamy. Like velvet. That one is man. It's a lot easier sip than the first one. Not that the first one was harsh or anything, but that was just an easy, nothing obtrusive whatsoever
No.
between proof or a strong flavor.
No.
Very balanced.
I love the barley note that's coming out. There's a really
wrote down
rich.
barley.
Oh my God. There's a really rich barley
Yeah.
note that's coming out of there. Sometimes in the videos, Ken, and I know it's different, it's a little bit strange, but sometimes in the videos I refer to it as like a burlap note. And I know that's just strange, but it's just what I connotate that to with that barley note, that barley factor that's in there.
Do you usually the barley notes that I pick up on are a sweeter note to me. Mm-hmm. Like it brings a very good sweetness to the pour.
Yeah, it has, it's an odd thing because for me with that right there, you get the richness of the barley. So it is somewhat of an earthy flavor, but yet again, it's a sweet type of a flavor. It's very strange to try to communicate, honestly.
Yeah.
For those of you that are bourbon drinkers only and rye whiskey drinkers only that really haven't dabbled in single malt, I do suggest that you start with American single malt. I think there's a little bit more of a connection for bourbon
sure. I think
drinkers
so too. Yeah.
with American single malt rather than bouncing over to Scotch or something like that. But
it's like your first step that direction.
yeah.
American single malt.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that, Kenner. I love that barley note that's in there. This one has a little bit more color to it too.
There's a couple that are definitely darker.
Three, Jonathan, yeah. Loving the peach cobbler note that's coming out of 3, my man. I love Kent's a big fruit eater. He knows all of his fruits. Kent's a meat and potatoes guy, Jonathan.
This is more like
Skip the veggies and fruit.
my flavors that direction are. That's a peach ring.
I love that.
Not peach cobbler, that's for sure.
I'm telling you right now, that's just a lovely peach cobbler note because there's a little bit of savoriness to it. There's the sweetness of the peach. It's like a bakery note in there going on too. Psh, forget about it. Come here, Colin.
That one,
See? Tell me that ain't peach cobbler, bro. It's just, it's just insane, isn't it, though? It's just craziness.
that one hangs on the tongue for a long time. I like that finish. It's just sitting there. Wow. That's sitting there.
I know.
Very long finish on that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back through those, you know. This is hard to do.
The creaminess, the viscosity on that one was even a little bit more than number 2, in my opinion. That was incredible mouthfeel. A lot of the same notes that I came across on the aromas transferred down into the palate for me, but it also lent a little bit more depth than what I was speaking of because that barley note wasn't as strong in number 2 as 3, but it lended to the depth of the sip with the barley note too, because there's definitely some barley richness along with that bakery, that real like that Danish type note with the peach cobbler type thing going on in there.
No, I get you on the Danish part. I wasn't really following that until you said Danish, and that makes sense.
Yeah, I was trying to
The
think
finish sat there forever.
Oh,
That was the best finish I had so far.
that was lovely. That was
When you have a really, really good quality
Dynamite.
finish and then it just sits there and keeps going.
dynamite. You all right, buddy? How you doing over there?
Not great.
I'm sorry, pal.
We're vibing.
You all right? How many do we have on right now, bud?
2,800.
All right.
We're at 82 club signups.
82
Wow.
club signups.
Wow, that's
Wow,
incredible.
guys. Yeah, honestly. Congratulations, but
Heck
also
yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing, guys. Number 4, Kip. Okay, wow, weird. This is crazy,
It's so dark. Darkest one of the bunch.
but yet different. That's almost citrusy to a certain point. Kind of, but not quite. It's weird. I don't even know how to, it's a little bit more, to me, when I picked up 3, it was peach, cobblerish, Danish. It all came together. That one's like,
More like-
a little bit more,
Toward the grapefruit side kind of thing, though.
yes, a little bit more sharp, a little bit sharp. Yeah. Yeah, grapefruit.
There's citrus on the palate too. Came close to swallowing that one wrong.
Michelle,
Almost had one of those embarrassing.
we need you up here for all this. With your master palate. That's incredible stuff, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't even know where to. Man. I'm gonna have to go back through some
You
of my
are?
thoughts here to try to figure out what's what out of the 2, 2, and 2. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping out of some of my notes I can.
Which one did we just taste? 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, I screwed that up. Okay.
Hopefully Trenton figures it out before he's like this here in a little bit. That's what happened to me. I tried to use a computer and ended up like this.
Hey, that's why I got some here left, because I never even tried to use the computer. How about that? I never even went down that road. 80 subscriptions. That's amazing.
Yeah. Very cool.
I might have fixed it, but
I got faith in you, bro.
it's gonna take 4 minutes to update it.
I don't know if everybody heard that with the mic issue, but 4 minutes, he thinks he's fixed it, but it's got a 4-minute update.
If anything, I'll just start manually pulling an update like I did last year.
That's sorry, buddy.
I hope it was working at the hotel this morning.
Yeah.
Do it live.
That's what it, I know. That's what it, that's. I didn't have a chance for this one yet.
It's a very light nose on that one.
Yeah.
Which one are you on?
5, bro.
5.
5?
Yeah.
You guys are cooking.
Well, we're
We
gonna
don't
have
mess
to go back
around.
through and make a little more thoughtful process here.
We don't mess around there.
You know, Miles, your lady in the back room there keeps looking through the window. I'm pretty sure she's laughing at us up here. She's looking over there like, oh man, they're screwing that up.
Well, then she's got the bottles back there.
Oh, so she knows.
She's the key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
For the key. Gotta have one of them. Wow. This one is tending to be a little bit more like the cast string. We'll let the train go by. Is it Amtrak again? Yeah, another one. All right, go the opposite direction. We're good.
This pen.
Babe, did you see anything from Kyle yet? Okay. Whew. That one was a little bit more reminiscent of the cast string, Kent, to me.
There doesn't seem to be anything like outstanding presence of something
Yeah.
outside of that. Let's put it that way.
Yep. So we're on 6.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm getting more stone fruits on this one. This is more apricot for me. That's lovely. Lovely. So, honey, the raffle is closed, right?
Yeah, it's been closed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Accidentally closed the auction as well, but he's gonna try to just the auction part
Okay,
until the end of the live stream.
I got you, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, the auctions, guys, were closed just for a minute, but we'll try to get that back up again. The auction items are gonna go a little bit longer here in the live stream for everybody.
What's the, there's kind of a distinct grain presence in there, but I'm trying to pinpoint it. You see
I don't know,
what
but I'm digging that apricot note in there. That's just, that has a mellow grain now. The barley isn't as dark as some of the other, it's a little bit more mellow. And the stone fruit is highlighted.
Yeah, it's a little, man. This is hard, Miles. It's
Yeah.
not easy.
Thanks, Jonathan. Thanks, Miles.
Was that number 5 you just said?
Yeah,
No, that was
6.
6. That was 6. We're trying to get, this is what we usually do. We kind of get through the first, get all through them, and then we get a little bit better idea where we want to go next. So right now, I have to go, and this is what's so, I've told everybody a million times, I'll tell you, I think I might have said something earlier, but that's so hard when we're doing a blind like this, to where all of the whiskeys are pretty exceptional, that somehow, some way, you have to come up with one that is the loser, the last place. And that's not even really fair with everything that we've tasted, but right now, I'm going to try to determine which one I would actually bump out first in the blind. They were all fantastic, but it's always easier for me when we're doing blinds, behind the camera to at least have one or two of them that aren't very good.
Move this a little bit, Kurt.
All right. So it's just easier that way for me. But when they're all really good, that's difficult. That's hard to do. All right, guys, while Kent's doing that, while he's trying to figure his out, I'm going to get back to mine. I got a little bit of an announcement to make. Kent probably knows what's going on. Yes, I see that hand. Did you need something? Oh, you didn't? You were scratching your head? Okay. Oh, your glasses, okay. Anyways, we got
Pretty big weekend this week.
Yeah, we got a big week. We've told a lot of people, we've talked to a lot of people, I've messaged with a lot of people. There's a lot of folks that I've talked to, and they had questions and valid questions on certain things, and barrel picks that have sold and different shipping things, and a lot of them would reach out to me because Trenton was unavailable for the most part this week that went past us. But not only did he have his hands full with everything that's been going on with this, because folks, let's be honest here, I do my best to help out and try to overachieve when it comes to communications with questions and answers the best of my ability, problems to solve, those are the things I can do. But Trenton by far is the stalwart that kind of makes things happen around here as far as tech is concerned and computer issues.
Which is a lot of it.
Problems, a lot of it. It's a lot of it. I mean, he's built programs. He built this program for this. He built the program, for the Raffle tickets. And it's just a lot. It's a whole bunch. But I wanted you to be aware and be a little bit more gentle on him. I know some folks even said I messaged him on Discord, but he didn't answer, but they've had a lot on their plate, both him and Michelle. So what I wanted to say that not only did we make this trip out here to celebrate Riley's Children's Charity and share this moment with Westward Whiskey, but we also came out here to be involved and be a part of Trenton and Michelle's marriage. So you heard it right, yes. You heard it right. You heard it right, you heard it here first. Trenton and Michelle, as of today, are a married couple. Yeah. I got to officiate the process, which was just, come on. I was a little taken back when they asked me if I would do that. I did. I've also learned I'm going to make a side hustle out of it. So if you folks either have a funeral or a wedding or even a baptism you might need, I'll be available. So just keep that in mind.
We'll work for whiskey.
Yeah, right? Hey, we can work out a deal.
The chat's going crazy.
I can only imagine. The chat's going crazy. I will say this. Whoever is in our Patreon group, whoever might be here with that, we'll have a picture that we'll put out there later afterwards of the wedding today. So
They looked amazing, and
yeah.
and
It
Colin was
wonderful.
kind of dressed up, not just to come in front of the camera for that, but he was dressed up a little bit to help them out earlier.
Yep. So that's another reason why we have the guests that we have here tonight with Bushy and Grandpa Paul making the trip and so on and so forth. So we were able to celebrate that moment with them. Also, the culmination of this live stream and the Riley's charity thing. It's just been a very, very blessed day, and we can't be more thankful. We just can't. We had another member to our family. Michelle, welcome. We love you. So it's an honor. It's just when the family grows, it's just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So
She's all right. We'll take her.
yeah, maybe. Hey, what I said earlier, if she makes Trenton happy, that's what matters. So
And it just so works.
Yeah.
We kind of like hanging out with her too. So
yeah,
it's a double whammy. It was a good
There
day
you
for
go.
all of us too.
yeah,
So
yeah. There you go.
congratulations, guys.
So if any of you saw our Facebook and our Instagram post where I said I have an announcement to make, that's the announcement. So yes, Trent.
I'm just gonna have to do this manually because
I'm sorry,
we got an hour left until we got to end it, and we haven't drawn a single one. So
Yep, have at it, bro. I mean, Kent and I got to do some. Do you
Some
need
tough stuff up here.
Do you
So
need the microphone, or we can figure out whatever we're gonna do.
I'm gonna move some stuff around on the screen. The bar will still be on the right with the bottles, but it's not gonna
Okay.
move like I was hoping it would.
Okay.
I'll just put the item number or the item
Yep.
that we're drawing for. The winner, it'll be the ticket number followed by the first name and last initial, and you'll get an email if you won. So keep an eye out for that. And we'll just get started. I apologize for the.
No, don't apologize, buddy. You're doing the best you can. That's all you can do. So it's okay.
you're almost there, Trent.
We've got Kent and I've got some decision making to do and some tasting up
Not
here.
going to be
so-
easy ones either.
No, take your time. Whatever you need.
But you know, I mean, as far as first one out, that kind of thing, like we normally do, they're all really good. It's just
Yeah.
what you're enjoying at the moment. The tough part I'm having is trying to figure two and two, because that's kind of a challenge, you know, that we had, and
I don't know if this will help at all, but they are all at the same proof.
oh,
That does
okay,
anything for you.
that does
That's
kind
all
of
right.
Okay.
on a couple. I think it did.
Yeah.
So all
everything's in there.
right,
Beautiful.
okay.
All right, we're-
But yeah, we're not. Lord knows I'm not an expert. I just like
No.
to drink it quite a bit.
No, not at all. Yeah, Kent drinks way more than I do, so he's much more of a
Mom,
professional
don't
than
listen.
me.
Don't listen.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Mom. Hey, Mom's my Grammy's even watching this on her TV. Raquel helped her put it on
That's
her
right.
TV.
Big screen tonight.
Big screen. Mom, how do we look?
Right now, she probably went, "Oh, Kurt."
Yeah, I know. Oh, for crying out loud. That's what she did, for sure. Try and pipe up, buddy. Just shut us up whenever you need to, pal.
No, you guys are good. You guys are good.
What do you think?
I don't even have to say anything. I'm just gonna be updating the screen.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to be hollering out loud.
Yeah.
I'm running to him just real quick again.
Joseph wanted to know what Trenton's flowing locks look like for the wedding.
You can hop on
Ah.
maybe we can get Mr.
You know, that's a good question. That's a good question.
Yeah, we only wear a tie.
Gosh darn it.
He's very dapper. He was very dapper today. Let me say this. Let me just say this too. If I wore a suit like Trenton had on today, it wouldn't look good. Very tapered, kind of, you know, a little snug, like, you know.
Medium.
Yep, like a schmedium, like somebody fit would wear.
That's not the
If we-
type,
if we
not
would've
the
put
type
the-
I've looked for in a long
No,
time.
me either. If I'd have put that on today, I did have a sport coat on today. You know, I did the, thank you, honey. Thank you. But I couldn't have pulled off Trenton's look today. I could have done that.
Did you hear him say they're all at 90?
Yes, I did. I love that too. I love it. Let's try to let's try to agree on our lineup tonight. Even if we have to argue about it a little bit.
People are asking for a sneak peek of the couple at some point, so let's see. What do we think?
That's how Trenton finally got behind the camera. We're having a
Yeah.
live show at my house,
Yeah,
and
first, that
There
was our
was-
very first Riley's. Yeah.
and we were getting close to 50,000 subscribers, is what that was.
Was it the Riley's or no?
No, it was just Blanton's lineup.
I'm sorry.
And
Okay, my apologies.
we were close to the 50. I don't know who started it, but somebody said, hey, Trenton will get behind the camera if it gets to 50. And he's like, all right, I'll do that. And it looked impossible, but it happened by the end of that show, and we practically had to pull him up.
Oh yeah, it was. He was a bit awkward for the first few shows, but after that, he's like a pro. I always tell everybody he's the star of the show. Anyways, I just show up to try to keep the train on the tracks. That's all I try to do. That's what I do.
He got recognized at the whiskey bar last night.
He did. The guys went out last night. Now, Trent was here a little early to get everything ready, as why we just explained. We arrived last night. Trent arrived the night before. You all right, pal?
Yeah, you can go.
Okay. Trent arrived the night before. The fellas took him out to the Whiskey Lodge. Scotch Lodge. I knew that was wrong. Scotch Lodge. Just that name itself has me intrigued, I have to tell you.
Well,
so just
The
has
name
me
that went Trent one there?
Yeah, somebody recognized Trenton as part of SLB. That's so awesome at the Scotch Lodge. That's fantastic. Now, did anybody say, hey, Miles, is that you? From Westward?
Not at all.
Oh, that's just wrong. If I'd have been there, I'd have went up to you first.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Ken, do you have any direction?
Well,
What you might be going to?
kind of, yes. I just went through those. I was thinking of some other things too, but when he said they were all at 90, I just went through them all because a couple of them drank hotter to me,
Oh, okay.
which for me was 2 and 3. Drank a little hotter than 90 compared to the rest of them. I don't know if that makes sense to your list, but they definitely had more of the bite, more tingle, more
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. Just seemed
Sure.
like it probably was 100 proof or 95
Yeah.
or 100.
Yeah.
He's smiling at me like, whatever.
It's true, it's true.
Yeah, but that's the way I felt on those two. Now, getting down to the fact that I'm definitely not an expert. Why is that? Why did those feel a little hotter to me? Is that I don't think it would be necessarily a grain thing. I would think that'd be more of a fermentation thing to me. I don't know.
I wouldn't know.
You know,
either. I'm pretty
grasping at
simplistic.
straws here.
I'm on the bottom floor when it comes to this
Those
stuff.
two seem different than the rest. Let's put it that way.
When I'm tasting whiskey, exactly what I do every single time is my first impression is I want to know, do I like it or do I not like it?
Yeah.
All right? That's the first thing. That's the only thing I'm looking for on the very first sip of any whiskey. Does it appeal to me or does it not appeal to me? And then I go on from there. I do really enjoy the aromas that come out of the glass when you're sipping whiskey. But as spoken before, I have a little bit of a handicap with that. So my priority for me, when I'm trying to choose in a blind which one I'm going to kick off first, or which one that I like the most, a great majority of my decision making will be on the palate tasting. That's what it's going to be for me. What does it taste like to me? So now I have in blinds past kicked one out or two because actually I kicked out a Stag Junior Buffalo because it was freaking hot. I mean, that thing was at the end of the day we found it was like 132 or 134 proof, and it was just flaming hot. For some of you folks out there, that was right up their alley, probably. There's other folks that give it to me. But for me that day, I think it got like 3rd or 4th place because it was just so hot. Flavors were good at the end of it all, but it was just way too proofy for me. So What is your thoughts on, what's
First
your,
one out?
yeah, first your bottom two. Let's just see if I'm even somewhere,
For me,
anywhere close to
first
you.
one out for me is 5.
It's not close.
And only reason being, it's the most neutral to me of all of them as far as nothing is standing out. It's very balanced pour. It's, I like something a little punch, you know, whatever it may be, whether it be flavor or a real strong spice to it that bites you, or I don't know, I like something with a punch. And that one out of all of them, to me, was the most neutral of all of them, and that's why I put it out first. Nothing that just really stood out.
Okay. I can't go that way.
Well, and you know what?
Yeah.
I
Unfortunately.
understand that because an easier smooth pour is kind of your, most
Could
of
be.
the time, is your
Could
thing.
be. I don't know. Follow me with what I'm trying to say here, and I'm going to try to be. My first out would be 1. That would be mine. I do like
You know
it.
what? This will probably show the differences of me and him more. So being
Hey,
it's all your guys' stuff instead of, you know, here's a one that's completely different out of the ballpark compared to this bottle like we normally do. It might be 5 different, completely different things.
This is
You know,
fascinating.
this is, well, especially because
somebody's got to be the guinea pigs.
yeah,
Got to be
And,
somebody. It might as well be us.
at least I won't get too embarrassed about it because nobody's hiring me to be
Hey, come on now.
anybody's professional anything.
Hey,
unless it's you need to get rid of it, I'll help you out.
We've said it lots of times, Kent. There's really, when it comes to, it'd just be like, for example, Rebecca usually is not very fond of spaghetti, right, babe? Not really, no. I freaking love it myself.
yeah.
A good spaghetti with a good handmade sauce, I love it. She doesn't really like red sauce. Now, does that mean she's wrong and I'm right? Well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that at all. That's just her preference and my preference. So when it comes to whiskey tasting, I kind of relate it to the same thing, Kent. We're all different people. We all have different palates. We all have different likes and dislikes. So it's just maybe the difference between you and I. I was really hoping you and I would kind of be on the same page. But when you said 5, I was like, there's no way I could go with 5. I apologize.
That
but
went
I just
out the
can't.
window. No, hey, I'm
that
not-
whole idea, though, they just went out the window. I'm going to be really attentive when it comes to the reveal of what we have here, because some of that may answer some questions too. You know, because they do all sorts of stuff here, all sorts of finishes, casks. There's all sorts of stuff going on here. And it might be more relevant at the reveal why Kent likes something more than me and vice versa, for sure. So you picked yours, Kent, right?
I already know what my 1 and 2 is. I don't know which order, but I know what the top 2 are.
We're going to have to keep track of our own thing here because everybody's got stuff
Yeah.
going on. So I marked mine. Unfortunately for me, number 1 is in 6th place for me. So moving on from there.
I'll let you go first this time.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's going to be 4. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for you to go, what?
I was busy right there.
That's awfully good.
I will. I know.
That's good.
I know. Well, so was 5 that I just put out last.
Yeah, I know. I know you did. But I just have to check 2. Yeah, that's going to be me, Ken. Unfortunately, it's going to have to be 4. As good as it is.
Well, that was one of mine for my next choice. And there's a little bit of a sour note in that number 4 that I'm trying to me. There's
I agree.
There's a little bit of sour in there.
I agree.
And for me, it's good. You poured me
Yeah.
that, I'm drinking it up, but
Yeah.
that note is a little different to me than the rest. I'm enjoying the other ones just a little bit more, but that one seems like it's got a little
So
bit
we're
of a
on the
sour
same
note
page.
on that one.
All right then. All right, we're on the same page on that one. That's good. Now it's your turn to go next, Ken. Believe it or not, the next
6 for me is next.
I'm gonna have a hard time now. This is really was difficult because a lot of these have almost the same scores. that
Well,
I wrote
the
down.
only reason I said 6 right away is because I knew my 1 and 2 first time around. So,
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will say this isn't my highest score of the round for me for any of them. This is 6.
I didn't even do scores. I made some weird notes down here. And,
Did you?
Yeah.
All right.
Didn't do scoring this time. I'm doing weird notes because I'm trying to figure out what's what here, but
You did get one of the groups right.
did I?
Well, they're paired
Well,
together.
I'm did one thing right at least. One thing right. That's kind of cool.
That is cool. That's very good on you, man.
And I haven't
For
even
sure.
said anything about the other 4, so you never know. Never know.
Very good on you, Kent. Yeah, I'm good with that, Kent. I'm good with 6 coming in 4th. I'm good with that.
I'm gonna have to go back to 2 and 3. Those, man, I really like both those going through the first time. I don't even know. I haven't went back to those because
Yep.
I knew I was
Yep.
keeping till the end.
I understand. That's what we usually do that. Well, they keep the ones that we like the most through the first round and kind of get them at the end. See if it's changed or if it come up a little bit. Right?
So good. So good.
So for me, is 2 is still in play for you or no?
2 and 3.
Okay. Me too. 5 is not for you, correct?
Right.
Yep.
Question for Miles. Are you cutting that off today for them to sign up because they're having problems getting on?
Oh, you know what?
For the club?
Yeah.
Did you crash it?
We weren't cutting it off.
No, I'd say we'll keep it going. Yeah, I mean,
6.
yeah, you've got a
At least for
ceiling.
a couple days or so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
All right, if anybody didn't hear that, Rebecca was speaking with Miles. I guess there's some issues with the website with Westward.
Not the only one.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of people on it, so
Yeah, a lot of people are trying to sign up. I think their site crashed because all of these wonderful people are trying to
Yeah.
sign up.
yeah, they're gonna be keeping it moving forward, right, honey? Yep, at least till tomorrow. So maybe even the weekend. Just give it the weekend.
Keep it going.
Weekend. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. We'll keep it going through the weekend for Westward Whiskey if you want to sign up for their club, and I highly suggest that you do if you're a whiskey enthusiast at all. They'll have some wonderful stuff there for you in that club. Ken, for me, this is where 5 is going to make that exit. I know you made it earlier for you.
1 for me.
Okay, and that was my last. So that leaves us with 2 and 3.
2 and 3, yeah.
Let's talk about it.
You just put out
Some
5,
time with-
right?
I did.
Okay.
That's where, so all we really did so far then is flip 1 and, we just kind of flipped our opinions on 1 and 5. Because I got 1 out first,
Oh, yeah.
and you got 5 out first.
Yeah.
So we just kind of flipped our opinions on 1 and 5, basically.
Correct.
Trent, you doing all right, buddy? You need my help with anything?
I am cooking.
Okay, good. You can always tell, I don't know, Michelle, if you know this or not, or if you, I'm sure you do. When I know, when we're doing something like this or something, there's some stress or a little bit of pressure to make sure that one eyebrow goes zzz. I don't know what that is about that.
That's
but
when
he has this
zoned in.
zoned in look, and that eyebrow on the left side comes up just a tiny bit, and he is like
Then he's off to the races.
focused on that. You know, and that's how I am, Michelle. Rebecca, right? When I'm doing drywall, when I'm really trying to get that seam perfect, I'm just Sometimes I do fall,
Lately.
especially the older, hey, well, we might as well go there because I got a little story. You know, it's all in humor. It's a little humiliating sometimes. The older you get,
His younger brother's going to have to start holding on to him.
that's for sure. He's a wonderful, Ken is a wonderful caretaker for my mom as far as her medical needs are concerned. Way more than I ever could be. He is just amazing when it comes to taking care of a lot of her needs, to tell you the truth. I help with what I can do too, but he's really good at that stuff. So I think you might get that responsibility the older I get because you're just so good at it.
I don't know. I tell, like when we got here on the plane, I got up and I was like, oh, barely walking. I joke around with Mom, and this is the way Mom is. She's 85.
Yeah.
But she just may make it long enough to wheel me around. That's the way Mom is.
Yeah.
I don't see her going anywhere anytime soon. And
No.
Mom, you might be taking care of me by the
You
time
might.
things are done.
Well, I was doing a little repair in a new construction home, basically. So, and one thing that I have learned as you get older, you always have to be cognizant of where you're going, what you're doing, where you're stepping. You know, back in the day, Kit, when you and I were doing drywall, when Dad was still there, I mean, we would be running all over the joint, jumping off of whatever, hopping up on whatever scaffold. It didn't really matter, you know, just you're young, you know. I remember vividly so many times my dad, I'd be laughing at Dad, Kent, because I'd be hauling in 2 ends of scaffolds, I'd be horsing stuff, and he'd be taking one at a time. He'd just look over me and go, yeah, you'll see. When you get older, you'll see. You'll see. And I think about that quite a bit, but I went inside, it was a Sunshine Homes house, so it was in Hatch Lake. And I went inside, I needed a little bit more water in my 5-gallon bucket, and I got it out of the kitchen sink they had there. And I was walking out of the house, I came down the sidewalk, and there was a curve in the sidewalk. I don't even know what it was. Something was happening down the street that caught my attention, so I was looking up instead of watching where I was walking. My right foot got off the edge of that sidewalk, and because it's new construction, the grade wasn't level to the sidewalk, so there's drop off. I rolled my ankle. I tried to catch myself. I ended up flipping, basically doing a somersault in the driveway. In the process, the half a bucket, a 5-gallon bucket of water went up in the air, went all over me. Just went whoosh. I'm rolling. Of course, you know what I did first.
Look and see if it.
First thing I did is jumped up and see who was watching, you know? Okay, no, I'm good. Well, then I couldn't find my phone. I had no idea where my phone was. Well, I had it in my other hand. It took me 10 minutes and I finally found it on the other side of the yard because I threw it when I fell. So
I would have loved to have a video of that, huh, Caleb?
Yeah, that happens. So you're right, honey. I do fall.
That's one of a few stories I've heard lately.
Oh, there's been some big gashes.
He's got skins on his shins.
What does
And
he say, Ken? Oh, it'll be fine. It's
Yeah,
it'll be fine.
yeah.
You need stitches?
Nah, it'd be right. It's okay. Sorry.
Just a quick
All right.
blurb on the Westward
Please.
Club. Jonathan just said that you can do 35 states,
Yes.
right? So some of you that are having problems,
good point.
it might be because your state isn't in the running for that.
Write your congressman.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Is that what it is?
It's alcohol shipping laws.
Okay.
that prevent that.
Yeah.
When you select states, it should let you know which 35 states you can ship to.
Okay.
That makes
Check the
sense.
states, and the drop down should say what states are available to ship.
Yep, they are restricted, guys. If you didn't hear that, Rebecca and Jonathan were talking. They're restricted in some states in the U.S. for shipping.
Allowed 35, correct?
35 states.
Part of the issue may be just you're in one of the unlucky ones that need to push a little.
Yep, talk to your state congressman, so on and so forth. So
I've got my 1 and 2 done.
you do? Okay, I don't.
And,
I got to go back.
I also have my 2, 2, and 2 that I think are at least paired together.
I didn't even do that.
We'll see.
I didn't. I don't even know what I'm doing with that.
Well, I wanted to do it. I didn't really expect to figure them all out, but I wanted to give a stab at it, just see where I ended up. I'll say this, 6 and 1, 2 and 3, and 4 and 5. Or my 2, 2 and 2, let's put it that way.
Good for you. When we fired off the show.
I'm doing a Trenton. I'm just winging it out there, and it may not
Can you run that back?
be right or not.
What are your groups again?
6 and 1, 2 and 3, and 4 and 5. Really?
You got them all?
Wow.
Well, you know, I think, let's see. Yeah,
Trenton's got a smirk on his face right now. He at least heard that.
he knows I don't guess at anything. He knows that. You have to poke, prod me, kick me to guess at stuff. I don't know why.
The question is, what
Yes.
are the groups?
Oh, man. I'm going to try it again. 6 and 1 finish, 2 and 3 age or fermentation, 4 and 5 grain. Oh, I got to look like I might have screwed that lineup up a little bit.
4 and 5 are grain.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 and 3 are cask.
Good for
Really?
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, Ken.
1 and 6 are fermentation.
Okay. Almost had a clean sweep there.
It's amazing.
That is. That is. That's really, really incredible, Ken. Yeah, let's give it up for Ken. Whatever.
That was the best, Mom.
Mom, I let him win. I did. Get the argument. Oh, no. Yep. She's watching. You know she's watching.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what's your,
Well, here's this, Ken. Here's my argument, okay?
okay?
Both of these are spectacular for me. 2 really has that rich barley flavor that I love. 3 tends to be a little bit more stone fruit forward, really kind of accentuating the stone fruits. 2 is accentuating that rich chocolatey barley that's in it. And how do you make your mind up on that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the tough one. That's the tough call. I love them both.
I do. I actually like all 6 of them. I'd be happy as can be to drink. But you know, even when they're all good, you have little nuances that just favor certain people than others. You know, that's all.
The chocolatey barley thing going on there is fabulous. Really is in 2. I'm going with 2 as my winner.
2 is my winner.
Get out of here,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
I don't know, just today, I do love the stone fruits and the flavors that I'm getting from 3. I do love that. But, man, that barley note, whatever that barley note that's coming out of 2 is just amazing. Why did you pick number 2 as your winner? Is it the same reason, or is it just because of...
See, I wrote it down earlier. The thing that kind of flipped it for me a little bit wasn't necessarily the flavor. I think the flavors on both, for me, were right where I love them. But I just loved the mouthfeel, the creaminess, the whole entire sip. All the aspects of the sip were great.
That is true, too. Didn't even take that into consideration. With the viscosity on that one, too, as well. Love that.
It just kind of hit all the boxes, not just flavor to me.
No doubt. All right, guys, now the embarrassing part, I guess. I mean, I'm kind of trying to put that off a little bit, but since Kent's showing off tonight.
I'm really kind of shocked that I got the pairs right anyway. Because I really, other than live show nights, once a month, I don't think about any of that. Yeah. I pick what I want to pour that night, and that's as far as it goes, really. You know, I might pick that particular pour apart, you know, and think about it a little bit, but I never sit down and compare anything, or, you know, I know these guys like to do it more often. Well, they have to, but even for enjoyment.
I know you were talking about taking a stab at saying exactly what we did.
You know, the actual releases.
Oh, yeah, I can't eat. I wasn't meaning that particular.
I think I'm just going to go back to this old fashioned.
Yeah, I misspoke there because there's no way I'm going to be able to.
Well, I mean, look, it was meant to be fun anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what they all are.
You do a reveal?
And it's yeah, and it's,
I'm just dying to know. Okay, here's what we're going to do, Jonathan, if you can help me with this. It was my last place, and I mean that tongue in cheek. All these were really, really good. Thank you for doing this for us. Mine was number 1. So what was your? Give me your bottle that was on number 1. This, Kent, would be your 4th. If I'm not mistaken.
My 4th, third. My 3rd place.
3rd even.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna introduce this and then
Please
have,
do. Yeah, no. I'd rather
Miles talk about it.
Absolutely.
I'd rather you do, and I'd rather you talk about it. Absolutely. 100%.
This is our fermentation Belgian Ardennes release.
Well, that's kind of what I thought, actually. Wait, come on up here, Miles.
I almost said
I'll
that.
stop hollering at you
almost
from the
said that.
sideline.
Here, I have no idea what that means or what you even did here.
Yeah, so this is one of our fermentation experiments, as ex-brewers, we try a lot of different things with beer yeast, right?
Keep going, bro.
Yeah, and so this is a Belgian farmhouse ale yeast, like a Trappist ale yeast that we
Okay.
used. Yeah, the deal here was a brewer down the road that is a friend of mine. I kept going in during the week and drinking on this farmhouse ale he had, and I just kept going back for it again and
Did you?
again and again. So eventually
Yeah.
I said, I need you to keg off some of that yeast for me because we're going to try it.
Beautiful.
So that's the only thing that we swapped out as far as like a standard westward process.
Well, and it makes sense a little bit. Kind of odd for you, but he's not a beer drinker much at all.
Okay.
I don't like beer.
All right.
So does that make sense to you now?
Absolutely.
A little bit?
So much of that came through.
Oh yeah, because it's your last place.
It is.
Yeah, it completely makes sense.
Yeah, and Kent drinks everything alcohol.
No,
And sorry, Mom,
You and
I've
me
tried to
both.
talk to him about that.
You and me both.
it completely makes sense.
Yeah,
Why it's last place.
that's really cool.
Yeah, he enjoys beer and different. I just don't. I've never.
You had a sour once that you're like, okay, I could drink it.
Yeah.
sour beer
Yes.
that you liked.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, no. I wouldn't say that I liked. I just said I could do that.
You could sure.
Most beers that I have, honestly, Kent's probably given me
Yeah.
20 over the years.
Okay.
I can't even take more than a sip, and it's just not for me.
Wow. I mean,
And I don't know why. I don't know why that is. But
When we
that's just
finished
what it
the fermentation and we were running it through the stills, I mean, we were surprised how much of that character really came through in the final,
So-
new make. So
is. So
Yeah.
at this point, it doesn't surprise. And I apologize. Everything was good, but it doesn't surprise me that I kicked that
No,
out
that
first.
makes complete sense.
So
I mean, that-
being the beer
yeah,
association.
means we're doing our job right.
Yeah.
That is.
Absolutely.
That's right, because there's a whole lot more people that enjoy that kind of stuff than don't, as far as I'm sorry. All right, Jonathan, what do we got coming up next? I have, in my 5th place is number 4. Number 4 on your list.
You were the same on this one.
Yes.
I think, right?
The only one we switched
We're the same.
we only switched 2.
That is our Bridgeport release, which is actually another one based in beer. So
Shocking.
this tracks.
Brewery series, Bridgeport Brewing.
Yeah. So Bridgeport Brewing, which unfortunately closed a few years ago, but they
Is
were
that right?
open in the early '80s. They were one of the first craft breweries around. First brewery I worked for out of brewing school, and they made this delicious. They called it their Kingpin Ale. It's this high rye red ale. And so we talked to them about maybe turning it into whiskey. So the Bridgeport brewers came over. We cloned their beer recipe, used all the same grains. It was, I think, 35% malted rye, 32. And used the same yeast that they used at Bridgeport to ferment it out, which was an old English ale yeast, and then double pot distilled it, put it in new oak, and
There
made
you
it
have
whiskey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
Very cool.
I've said this before, and this is a quickie, real quick here, John, before we get to the next one. My understanding is with American single malt, it's all rested in new American oak, right? It's not like Scotch, where it can be introduced into ex-bourbon casks, ex-sherry casks.
Do you mean new, like American single malt in general?
Yes.
No, we keep it pretty open.
Do you now?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so that's something that, for the folks out there and for my understanding and my knowledge, American Single Malt is striving to get their own, help me with the words. I apologize.
They call it the standards of identity,
Correct.
right?
Identity is what I'm looking at, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you're all working towards that. My understanding was, and I need to correct it if I'm wrong, is that a big part of that was that American Single Malt is aged in new oak casks, per se, rather than like Scotch and so forth. They go right into ex-bourbon, right into ex-sherry.
Right.
So that's not the case.
No, so we were part of the original, I think, 9 single malt makers that formed the American
Right.
Single Malt Whiskey Commission.
I knew you
got
did that. We
together,
talked about it last time.
And we
That's
said,
why I'm
okay,
asking.
what are these regulations? And, we were careful to not make them too restrictive, right? Because for us, the compelling part about craft is that we explore and we
I
try new
agree.
things. And that we're not limited
I cannot
by
disagree
things,
at all.
right? Yeah, and so we were careful to make sure that they mostly just like informed whiskey drinkers and kind of protected the category, but didn't bind any makers from really just kind of
Well,
having
I'm
to stick
glad.
to one path.
I'm really glad you brought that up
so
because
that particular one,
I have been incorrect a couple times when I've stated on camera that that's part of the American Single Malt thing, is that it's all, introduced in a new American oak cask at the beginning and then finished, like a bourbon would be or whatever.
Right. From
But
there
that
you
is
can do
not
whatever.
correct. That is not correct.
we said oak container up to 600 liters.
good.
And so we didn't specify new
Yeah.
or used.
Okay.
We just said oak.
Okay.
I did actually kind of argue the point of, can we just say wood instead of just oak? But that, I got outvoted,
Okay.
which is fine.
Yeah, I
I mean,
understand.
we all wanted to come together and have, an agreement
Sure.
on what this meant, right?
Sure.
Some kind of definition for everybody
sure.
to understand.
Okay.
But no,
Got it.
it very sort of vaguely says
All
oak
right.
container.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
appreciate it because
Absolutely.
I'll be the first one with my hand raised if I'm wrong, and I'll be happy to say it, but I also want to make sure that eventually we're right in the information that we're giving. So
Sure,
Thank
sure.
you for that.
That is mostly
Absolutely.
Western's approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is our style, which is charred new American oak. That's
Yeah.
that's what we prefer.
I see.
And like that's how we like the single malt that we make.
Well,
but-
we're on the topic, and I know you have different relationships with other people, good relationships with other distilleries. We talked about strain of hands.
Yeah.
And some other things last time we were here. Do you find that a good majority of single malt distilleries in the U.S. are using new American oak, or are it maybe just a few that aren't, or do you even know?
I mean, I think these days there's so many now, which is great to see. I mean, we've
I
got
understand.
over 200.
I put it in the spot a little bit.
No,
I
no, I
apologize.
think a lot of the kind of early, like, brands or distilleries like Stranahan's or
Yeah.
us, Westland, even Balcones when they're doing single malts.
Yeah.
A lot of us kind of lean toward new American oak, but these days it's just all across the board.
Is it now?
Yeah.
McCarthy's?
Yeah, McCarthy's. They use a variety.
I thought they might.
in
That's
their
why I brought it up.
blend. Yeah,
And they've been doing it a long time too.
They
have
do,
not?
yeah, and they use Oregon oak, the Gariana. We have our own species of oak here in the Northwest.
Yeah.
And that's what.
Can you tell us the topic Kurt likes a lot in the single malt realm?
Well,
of
let's just
things?
say,
he's, he's all in, man. When it,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I enjoy that. There's just,
Yeah.
I love bourbon. My problem is, I've said it a million times, my problem is, when it comes to whiskey, I like them all. I like them all, right? So I like
wrong with
bourbon,
that.
I like rye, I like Scotch, I like American single malt. There's a lot that I do like. I do tend to, sometimes I love bourbon, but sometimes it can be a lot the same. But when you open your palate a little bit and your mind a little bit to single malts, as we just saw here in your first two options,
Yeah.
we're talking beer,
Right.
right?
Right.
So, there's just a lot you can do with a single malt like that. Then, with a bourbon, you have to have X amount of, it's got to be this, it's got to be that, it's got to be this type, has to be fall within this form of mash bill. The wood has to be new American oak, charred, it's got to be blah, 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 blah. And then you have all kinds of, whoops, there's a train again, damn truck.
Just letting us know they're here.
Yep, they run late, don't they?
I guess they do.
You're usually not here this late, are you?
If I can help it.
I don't blame you.
All right, both
Should we-
of ours.
yeah, should we go?
Next was
Yeah, let's
six.
do it.
Whatever
Oh yeah, you
was
guys,
six.
you matched on this one as well.
Yeah.
And just, to your point about single malt, I think, we get asked a lot as single malt makers, so, there's regions in Scotland, right? Like there's Highland, Lowland,
Yes.
Speyside,
Yeah,
Islay.
yeah.
And people say, are we going to see regions kind of pop up in the States? And I said, that's not really our approach,
I would think
A
so.
lot of
I
single
would
malt
agree.
makers in the States are approaching it like winemakers.
Right.
And saying like, this is my style, this is how I like to make it. Right? Rather than,
Yes.
I'm in this region, I should make it this way.
Right.
So.
To finalize that conversation really quickly, what I was going to say about the bourbon when it comes to the finishing process, there's a lot of arguments out there with enthusiasts. It's not even a bourbon anymore if you put it in a finishing cask. A lot of people are on that where they just,
Really?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't really consider a
That's-
finished bourbon to actually still be a true bourbon.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a purist.
You got it.
Yeah.
100%. All right, John, what we got?
You both put this in your number 3, I believe.
That
This
would
is our,
be number four.
Number four.
Number 4.
the bottle number 6 or bottle number?
Bottle number 6.
Lovely. This is our sourdough whiskey.
Did you not buy that when you were here last time, Colin?
I bought everything but that one.
Oh, okay. I know we talked about it as when we were around here, and all that. I don't remember.
How cool is that?
Sourdough.
Yeah, so
Explain that to us, man.
That's another fermentation.
I'm just like, man, mine just.
Yeah, that's another fermentation experiment, right? So the only thing we changed out of this one was taking out our Chico yeast, that pale ale yeast that we used, and put in a sourdough starter. So we have, he's retired since, but we have a famous James Beard award-winning baker here in town named Ken Forkish. He wrote that really famous sourdough baking book. Wow. And, he's an old friend, and one thing led to another over a few whiskeys, probably.
Let's try it.
Right? Do you think you could ferment your wash with the sourdough starter?
One way to find out.
Which led to, can we?
I love it.
Yeah, should we?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's try it. And so that's what we did there. Yeah.
I love it.
So that is, sourdough is a mixed culture, right? It's bacteria
Yeah.
and yeast together. And it took a little dialing in. I did a small batch first because we didn't want to make a full-size one
Well,
and
sure.
realize this isn't a good
terrible.
idea.
Sure.
And I've got my pilot still as an old keg that I had a friend turn into a pot still. So
Wow.
we did a small batch. The wash was terrible. Smelled so bad. Tasted even worse. But yeah, we ran it through the stills, and the new make was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Big, like ripe peach notes, stone
Wonderful, man.
fruits.
That's-
Yeah.
I love that. I really do. And
Yeah.
what I really love too, in the connotation that I'm getting with a lot of our conversation here is relationships.
Absolutely.
I have this friend, that friend. We get sit down. We
We're super
relationships.
collaborative. Yes.
Collaborative.
Yes.
Feeding off each other.
Absolutely.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
That's Portland to a T. We're all just, very creative and
Yeah.
collaborative and
Yeah.
wanting to work together. And,
I love that.
good stuff
Yeah,
comes
that's a
out of
great
that.
thing.
Perfect, man. I do. All right, what do we got next, Ken?
Lineup, it is number 5. Bottle number 5.
Bottle number 5, and this is the only one that we were a little different on, right? Is that you had something else in this spot?
I had number 1 in that spot.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you guys swapped those.
All right, Jonathan, what do you got for us?
Third place in
Yeah.
bottle number 5 is our 12% malted rye.
What? Trenton, you heard that? That eyebrow's up, but did you hear it? Anything with a rye whiskey, rye grain, man.
Yeah,
Boy,
so-
the boy loves it.
So this is a grain experiment, right? Where we're not just using 100% malted barley or our base barley. We're using something else. And this was malted rye.
Fantastic, dude. Honestly.
This was cool. We anytime we kind of switch up and use a different grain, we'll always use it as a malted grain. So we've done a malted wheat as well. I'm talking to someone who malts corn down in Northern California.
Are you now?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's what we call our 2 malt series. 12% malted rye. That rye was grown in Central Oregon, in the high desert, and malted at the farm where it was grown.
That's cool.
That's spectacular, man.
And this may be a completely a question I should know, but what is the process of malting corn or malting a rye grain. Or,
Yeah, the actual like malting process.
Yeah.
You're basically, you know, because we use grain to make whiskey, right? And what we use is the seed. Yeah, that's so malting is basically kind of tricking the seed into germinating, starting all these processes inside the seed that will get all that starch ready for enzymatic things to happen to break it down into sugar, and then yeast and sugar makes delicious alcohol. So the malting is just getting this seed. It's almost like giving it like ideal spring conditions.
A little kickstart.
Exactly. Exactly. But you also want to stop it.
I was just gonna say,
because
yeah.
it'll start to
Okay.
grow, right? And it'll
Okay.
become a grass, or whatever
So the
that
key
seed
is
wants to
starting
be.
it and then stopping it at the perfect.
And that's where kilning comes into place, right? So kilning, when you heat the grain, you stop it from growing. So you've got it right where you want it. And then when you kiln, you stop it. But what kilning also does is add like what we call Maillard reactions, like, savory notes, like sugar, like caramelized sugar, bottom of a baked chocolate chip cookie, like those notes.
So similar mindset to throwing some vegetables in a saute pan or putting them in the oven and roasting that.
Absolutely.
I know it's not the same.
No, same
but,
path, yeah.
But same mindset.
Yeah, and you can, I look at, you have different levels because you can keep heating it up, right? That's how you get like a stout beer. Because you eventually roast that grain and it's black.
Is
and then
that
you get
right?
those roasty notes in that.
Wow, the
that
coffee
color.
notes and all that stuff? Wow.
It's like coffee, roasting coffee.
Yeah.
You can have a light roast, you can have a medium, you can have a dark.
Yeah.
So that's like
Wow.
the final stage of malting. It's just
I don't
making
wanna
sure
be-
it's not going to grow.
I don't want to be kicked out of here or nothing, but I don't drink coffee either.
Not really much of a coffee guy myself.
What? All right. Yeah, it's not.
Jonathan's giving us like daggers.
I know. I remember. And last time, you remember you made some special coffee for everybody?
And it was delicious.
Yeah. Sorry about that, John. I still love you, though, man. I love you, man. I just
And I
can't do it.
believe me and you were the same on the last two, right? Is that how it
You
went?
were?
Yes, we were last two. We were exactly the same, Ken.
So the next one would be bottle number 3.
So bottle number 3 took our second place.
Bottle number 3, second place, is a hard cider finish.
Wow.
Yeah, so as we said, your top 2 were cask finishes. That same group. So this is another collaboration. We've got a great cider maker called Two Towns Cider. They're down in Corvallis. And
Amazing.
yeah, they're making incredible ciders. One they
More
make
left in that one.
Yeah, I bet.
is called Bad Apple Cider. It's a really high ABV hard cider.
Yeah, I would never lie to all you folks. I never would. I should have followed my heart a little bit and said, because it did have some, I was going to say something about apple cider or some sort of like cider note in there of some sort, but I didn't want to overstep my bounds. I should be more like Kent and Trent, they just lay it out there and whatever it is.
Yeah, they just
Sometimes
put it
we're
out
way off.
It is what it is, but yeah. you definitely
Once in a
brought
while,
that
we'll get
up.
something right there.
Sure.
Big fruit notes on this one.
Yeah,
It definitely was,
You
too.
were right
Definitely
in
was.
right in that zone for sure.
Yeah, loved
Absolutely.
it. Number 1, man.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what number 1. It might freak me out. It might be right. I don't know. Yeah, he's laughing already. Don't tell me it's a beer thing, because if it is, I'm gonna have to walk out here with my tail between my legs.
Number 1, your guys' favorite, is a cognac cask.
Wow. That is amazing. I have to say, when it comes to bourbon finishes per se, more of a wine cask, it would be my preference.
Sure.
Not as much on a cognac level. I've had some that I think they're pretty good, but I wouldn't put them in some of my top categories that I really like.
finishing cask.
However, go ahead, Ken.
Held XO, 30-year-old XO keg.
I have never really tried the cognac in an American single malt.
Okay.
Finish.
Oh, this is a first for you.
First one.
All right.
Yeah.
Have
First
you
one.
yourself? Any
Yeah,
cognac
no.
casks?
No.
Really?
No, never
Okay.
had it. Never had it,
Well,
Miles.
looks like it's a winner for you guys. Yeah.
Like that combo.
It's it's hard to get a hold of some cognac casks, quality ones that haven't been empty for a couple of years and are all dried out and don't have any character left in them. But yeah, we found some good ones there, and yeah, that was I think last year's club
That's why-
release.
That's why it's about empty.
That's a good sign always.
And he wanted that little bit still.
That's right.
That's a
Well,
little
Drift a lot
touch.
of there.
I loved it though. I mean, I thought it was fantastic. I
Well, and so
haven't
since
had
that
anything
was
of that.
your favorites,
Yeah.
we've actually, it's up here. Oh, we want you to take that one with you.
Oh, my
yeah, that's our
God.
gift to you.
Babe,
Take the cognac
we got to
with you.
take this one home. I know you would be excited. I knew that.
Excited. People want to ask me if they can buy these through the website.
Yes, thank you. We actually put up, because so all of these are club releases from the past.
Yeah.
Right. These are all things we've
Right.
had out there,
Yeah.
and so we wanted to check before we put them out in front of everybody to see if we had some, and we do.
I'm glad you guys did this too, because it opens my eyes a little bit too to your club experience. I know Trenton's in it. A lot of times Trenton's like a freight train when it comes to procuring whiskey. Okay,
Unstoppable.
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And so I've kind
got an
of
uncanny
gotten
ability to-
I've kind of gotten a little bit lazy on my part, because God forbid you should ever say in front of them, if it was me, "Oh, I really like that." 2 weeks or a month later, "Oh, here, I got this
It's
for
there.
you." It's
Really?
there.
That's
So
amazing.
I mean,
Good guy to know.
yeah, he takes care of the old man. What can I say? I mean, he does. So this is an education process for me. I'm thrilled that we're doing this for the folks out there. Thank you, man, for letting us take that home. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
yeah,
much,
That was Jonathan's idea.
Jonathan. Man, I knew.
Yeah. So we did. Like I said, we did a count, and there's. Each of these are absolutely
Available.
obtainable. We're not just
Yeah.
dangling them in front of people
Yeah.
and saying, no, you
Yeah.
can't have them. So,
Yeah.
there.
Belgian Ardennes.
Belgian Ardennes? Okay.
So no Belgian.
Right. So not that one. That's right. We actually, that one went fast.
That's right. It was
Yeah.
Kurt's last place anyway.
Who needs it?
Well, hey, and that's the thing. Anytime I have some kind of a beer cask or some kind of way, I usually give it to Kent, because it's just not my thing. That's all. Dragon's milk,
Oh yeah.
Not my thing.
Sure.
no,
Yeah.
it's not for me. So
I mean,
there's a lot of that stuff that just isn't for me, and I give it to Kent because he enjoys it. you know.
yeah. Well, that's just it, right? We all taste
Everybody's
differently. Our
different, yeah.
palates prefer
Yeah.
different things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
100%.
Well, cheers, guys.
He likes
Hey,
fruit.
Miles,
I don't.
man. Brother, thank you so much. man.
Absolutely.
Honestly,
Really.
this has been fantastic.
Pleasure. And
Very cool.
way to nail it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Well, I swear, man. Wow.
My job on the blending team.
I'm shocked.
Well, yeah. I'll work cheap too.
I'm impressed. Just don't let them start tasting. Trust me when I tell you. Yeah.
Dig it. Well, all right. I'll
Thank you,
bow out.
brother.
Yeah, all right.
Appreciate everything.
All right,
man.
Jess. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Trenton, how you coming along, buddy? You doing okay?
Yeah, 32 draws left.
Almost there. Then Trent can breathe for the first time in a month.
A week. At least.
Probably more like a month.
Yeah, Trenton, honestly, guys, Trenton honestly has been. I apologize for Trenton, and he would if he could, if he had the ability to at the moment. But when it came to messages, and it's just he has been pretty much unreachable, even for me and his mom, for the most part over this last week. And I tried not to bother him as much as possible because he had all this on his lap. Wedding preparations. I'm sure there was a lot involved there with Michelle. And, you know, it's just a lot. It's a lot going on for him. So I tried to step in that gap as big as I could and try to do as much of the communications that I possibly could during that time. But he has kind of been a war horse, just getting everything as good as he could.
I've shot a text a couple times over the last couple weeks if you needed any help. But the problem is the bulk of his work's on a computer that neither one of us know what to do.
Yeah, no.
So
we don't.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's been a journey for them this week, and a beautiful journey for that matter. So we love that. We're glad we're here. We're thankful once again for your guys' generosity, for your hospitality, and everybody on your team. They're always extremely cordial. If you are ever in the state of Oregon or somewhere around Portland, did I say it right? I'm probably going to get chased out of here. It's probably Oregon, is it not? Oregon. Okay. I want to make sure because as you know, there's places you go. If you don't say it right, you might as well just hit the door and keep right on walking. So thank God I said it right the first time. If you are ever in Oregon, especially around the Portland area, please don't miss stopping by Westward Whiskey. Fantastic people, always a smile on their face, always willing to help you. You know, it's a great place to stop. It's a wonderful distillery. Do you guys offer tours and things like that here too as well? Sure. I figured you would. I just wanted to make sure, but it's a great stop. if
Thanks,
you're ever
Chris,
out this
for
way.
Getting this started.
Yeah, man. My buddy
Whatever,
Chris.
6 months, a year ago, whatever it was.
Ken's
It was
buddy-
last Christmas. You brought
Yeah.
the bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last Christmas, Chris brought down a bottle of Westward Whiskey in Bull Run. Pinot Noir finish. I think it was 14, 15 years, something like that, Chris, right? Didn't know about either one of
Both
them.
of them were like, holy cow, these
So-
are great distilleries.
It was wonderful. It was
yeah.
great, you know, and that's a wonderful thing. So thank you for that, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. Trenton has a little bit more to do. I'd like to get just in a tiny bit of a discussion real quick. Jonathan, you don't need to come up here if you don't want to, but I like your ears to be perked. You can come up if you want. This is a little cocktail question for you. And it's something that I started doing after our last visit and our little bit of a cocktail tasting with you. For those of you folks out there, a lot of our folks do enjoy bourbon cocktails, rye whiskey cocktails, right? Do not hesitate to put yourself out there and try some of these stalwart cocktails with an American single malt. I personally tried a Boulevardier with your product, and it was fabulous.
Which one did you try it with?
I did not do the Pinot.
Okay.
I'm struggling to remember if I put the cask strength or your regular release of your single malt whiskey. It's one of the two. I just don't remember which one it was that I put in the Boulevardier. Remember, Trenton, I called you and I told you got to try this, and I mixed it up for him last time? Yeah, you remember that, Michelle?
That is my go-to drink at home, cash drink, Westwood Boulevard.
Okay, so
Okay.
I probably was cast strength. Trent would remember if he wasn't typing 90 miles an hour because he got better memory than I. But speak to that, please, because if you want to add a completely other dimension to your cocktails, don't hesitate in trying some of them with an American single malt, good quality American single malt.
Experimentation is
I love
always
that.
about, I mean, it's not only about the whiskey and how we drink it, and it's something that I try to encourage because some people get very respectful, and I appreciate that because, like I said, enjoying, appreciating can be two very different things. So I actually teach all of our cocktail classes as well as our whiskey education classes. And something I try and do, especially at the end, is I'll make one of the cocktails we made that day, but with a club release or a SKU that I think adds another dimension.
Yes.
And you can completely elevate cocktails the same way. The same way we're using specialty yeast to elevate the product. You can use a different style. It's just about understanding what's going to go well together and sometimes be a good contrast.
Yes.
And so like my fun rule of thumb for Westward, especially our main releases, is like anything coffee oriented, anything chocolate oriented is very stout cask.
Just what you did here to, in my experience from here, 3 different ones.
Yeah.
We did the Hunter cocktail. You can find that in an earlier post, in an earlier video of ours, where we did a traditional style of a Hunter cocktail. It went over very well. We had a lot of views. I don't know. Some of those times, I don't know why, but it did.
People want cocktail content.
You transformed that using an American single malt and a couple little other ingredients there that you used that I love. We also tonight enjoyed a fantastic old fashioned that you took a whole different spin on with the use of an American single malt, Westward. And we're also discussing a Boulevardier.
Yeah.
So there's 3, really
Very
kind of
different
mainstream type cocktails that you can have a completely different flavor profile, completely other dimensions, depths involved just by using American single malt.
Yeah.
Right? One last question for you.
Please.
Manhattan.
Okay.
if you went down that road with an American
Oh,
single.
of course, absolutely. Which actually,
I
I'm
knew
glad you
that had
mentioned
to be-
it.
I knew it had to be a yes.
Well, especially
I haven't tried it.
When you're looking at cocktail history and the modern cocktail world, people are looking at rye whiskey for its historical prevalence in that.
Sure. That's what I would use.
Usually, anything that messes around with vermouths or messes around with rye whiskeys, our Pinot Noir finish is what I go to.
Is that right?
Yes, because it has this. I mean, rye is normally known for its, perfumey tones. It's a bright spice tones, and our Pinot Noir has these tannic tones coming from the French oak. It has this dry fruit tone to it, and so it's a take on something like a rye whiskey. I mean, it's not a rye whiskey, but it hits these same tones that take that tradition into a different way. And then, of course, we do have a 12% rye whiskey if you do want to. If you do want to go the actual club route.
Do you mind sharing just a relative, the specs for a Manhattan that you would enjoy with the Pinot Noir?
Yes.
Do you mind sharing that? I mean, I know people keep things under wraps, just a generality speaking, because I'm just going to tell you, okay, I will tell you.
Okay.
Kit and I both prefer, when we use rye whiskey, we use something with a little higher proof.
Yep.
A lot of times we'll use the Willet for your rye.
Okay.
Okay, now I know that's punchy, baby. Okay?
Yes, I'm
Punchy.
very familiar.
Okay. We will actually pour 2 1/4 ounce of that. All right,
Okay.
with 3/4 ounces of vermouth. I do use the bitter cube.
3/4 ounce. So you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. Now I will say this: I'm not a massive wine fan, so vermouths I tend to dial down a little
Fair.
bit, or whiskey up a little bit because of that.
Don't get me started on vermouths because we could go down a whole.
We won't do that. I do use the bitter cube bitters, the vanilla cherry bark.
Yes.
Bitters.
Bitter cube is fantastic.
That's usually my go-to Manhattan.
Okay.
So please.
My personal take, I am a little bit of a vermouth fiend,
Okay.
mainly because I'm constantly looking for new kind of nerdy avenues to go down, and vermouth is a very deep well once you get into it, especially when you go into vermouths like quinine, which if you're familiar with quinine, which is in tonic, has this lovely like effervescence and bitterness, and I'm a bitter fan as well. So normally I'm going to do a 2 to 1.
That's pretty common, right?
Yes,
Jonathan?
very common.
Okay.
But I have a lot of respect for essentially trading your 1/4 for a little bit more whiskey.
And that's just,
I do the same thing.
it's just him and I. It's just, you know what I mean?
Most of my cocktails at home, there's just a little bit more whiskey than what you get anywhere else.
Yes. And when I talked about formats before of like, understanding these formats, 2 to 1s, something I call a step ladder
Yeah.
or sling. Understanding these formats really help you make a cocktail,
Right.
But ultimately at the end of the day, it's about how do you adjust those formats to fit not only your ingredients but your own
Yourself,
flavor.
yeah.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I always love
pleasure.
talking cocktails with this guy. It was awesome. Thank you, man. How you doing, pal? You doing all right? I know we're about
It's
to.
done. It's done.
You're about 2 minutes out, buddy. I know we got a little bit of a hard stop. We got to hit here. Do you want to come up here? Do you want to come up here, Michelle? That's your cost. I don't.
How many of you want to see Trent and Michelle be there?
Well, that's an.
Listen, guys.
I will tell you this: the 2 of them look better than me and Kirk. do right
Yeah,
now. That's
they're going to
for
work.
sure.
They're going to work their way up there, but real quickly because we got a hard stop here. Once again, everybody, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We'll be making a post on Instagram, Facebook, on our Patreon group when we have the totals available for what we've raised for Riley Children's Hospital in honor of our late son, grandson, Michael. I just can't be more thankful to all of you. I just can't. It's just it's tough to get through this. I'm thankful for these guys here today because you've kind of helped me bridge that from being just a tear-ridden idiot up here. So we've had a lot of good whiskey to talk about. We've had a lot of great cocktails to talk about. Come on up, guys. But thank you. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart for what you do for sick children out there and to support SLB Drinks and our charity venture here for
weird being
Riley
back here.
children. No, it's not for you. You're So anyways, as we send off everybody tonight, I stand here humbled most of the time of the support that we get from our family, friends, and our community at SLB. I'm also very proud, I'm very proud of the community that we have and what we stand for and what we try to do as a group together. But more than that, I'm so proud of my family, honestly. I'm blessed more than I deserve. That's a fact. So as we close this evening, may I introduce to you Mr. and Mrs. Tyler. May I introduce that to you?
Also, I have to say, Lauren C. was like writing out every single thing that was on screen for the raffles in the chat so that everybody could keep up with it.
Oh, amazing.
Lauren, I'm going to send you some stuff. If you could email Trenton at slbdrinks.com, that was like, with everything that had happened. This was supposed to go smoothly, but it just didn't.
You know what, brother? All I can say is you give it your best effort, and that's all you can do.
I sure did. I would love to send you some stuff. Thank you for doing that. I think it made everybody's experience just a little bit better in the chat. So thanks.
And thanks to Westward.
All right.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you, yeah.
Really,
It's been
this is
amazing.
fantastic.
That was typical of Trenton right there, right, honey? We went to a beautiful, sentimental spot, and he took it to business.
Well, I was going to forget.
All right, guys, that's all we got for you. Hey, I had a fantastic time here at Westford Whiskey in Oregon. The night's going to continue for us. We'll see how long I can stay awake. That's all I can say. I'm not sure exactly, but I'm going to do my best. Thank you to Bushy Grapple Paul, Colin, Rachel, Trey, Chris, Caleb, everybody that joined us here on this trip for all the festivities. We love you and we thank you all. Yep. What you got?
I forgot to close the auction.
That's all
I'm
right.
gonna do that right now.
Okay, buddy.
No, I reopened. Did I not say that?
Oh, that's right, you did.
Oh, I reopened it.
Yeah.
I'll leave it open for an hour since I might
All
have
right.
forgotten to do that.
All right.
So everybody get over to the auction, place your bids on anything that you.
You got 1 hour till 9 o'clock.
Yep, for those of you that,
Central.
yeah, go ahead, bud.
The raffle is over, but I
10
will
o'clock
update the
Central.
website tomorrow morning with the names of the winners and the ticket numbers. Anybody that won should have gotten an email to the email that they used to purchase the raffle tickets. People probably can't hear me because that's a directional microphone.
Come on up, bro. Come on up.
Yeah, come on.
We have a few minutes, just a few minutes, so go ahead. You're better off to give them this information directly so they have it, because I won't be able to repeat it.
What is this, PST? PDT time? Pacific?
Pacific.
Yeah, okay, so we're on Pacific. I'm used to Central Time. The auction will end an hour from now, or like 58 minutes. It'll end on the next hour. And then for the raffle, if you go to, I think it's charity.slbdrinks.com right now, you can see all the bottles and who they were donated by. By probably tomorrow at noon, I'll have a list of every winner, first name, last initial, and then the ticket. And then if you won, you should have gotten an email from the provider that we use for the auction, or from the raffles, excuse me, and just respond to that, and then give us like 3 weeks, and then we'll make sure that we start getting everything out to you. But yeah, thanks again I think we sold 67,000 tickets, something like that. Yeah, about 67,000 tickets. And then on top of the $50 per club sign up, make sure you're doing the club sign up for Westward's club.
Also, those of you there's some of them don't even know, Trent. I've had people actually send me money to donate towards that. I have at least $1,500 that's going towards the SLB charity. We had another individual, Scott, that donated directly through his 501(c)(3).
That's right.
Donated $5,000 to Riley's Children's Hospital. We don't care if it goes to our total. We care for the sick children. And Scott, an amazing donation. Thank you for that. Thank you for it. Was done in honor of Michael, which I mean, thank you for all that. So there's a lot of things going a lot of different directions, and we'll get a total here in the next week or two.
And we have about another 10,000 coming from a barrel pick we did with MGP.
Right.
So we will get the final total probably next week after we get everything ironed out, but it's going to be
And congratulations to whoever won, because, man, what a lineup was
Carlos
in there,
won.
man. Carlos won?
He
Carlos?
did. He won a Delbach something or another.
Carlos, come on, my buddy. Well, good. All right, guys. Hey, this is the team. Thanks, buddy. This is the team up here, SLB Drinks. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time hanging out with us. We thank you once again for all your support, all your charitable donations that you gave us, those that bought tickets, those that have put in their donation, their auction items for auction items, those have donated directly. It goes on and on. I personally have $1,000 that I'm putting into the charity because my friend Tony did a hand carving of a barrel that I just desperately wanted to stay in the basement bourbon bar, so I'm donating $500 to the charity so that I can keep that. Tony, thank you. Stone Cold Steve Austin, I'm sorry, guys. I apologize to all of you out there, but he accumulated 3 bottles of Blanton's with the initials SLB. So I am personally donating $500 towards Riley's children so I can keep that also in the basement bourbon bar. So there's just all sorts of stuff going all sorts of different directions, and mainly because you folks are so great and you're so kind and you're so giving to us, and we can't thank you more. I want you all to have a fantastic weekend. Let's celebrate. We'll see you next time.